Thank you for joining us. I'm Gabriel Gonzalez. New at noon. Within the last hour, Mayor Craig Greenberg announced Louisville will comply with federal immigration guidelines. In the hope, Louisville will be taken off the Trump administration's list of sanctuary cities. In June, the administration released a list of cities they deemed sanctuary cities, and Louisville was on it. The mayor said today that's because Metro Corrections was not keeping immigrants on a mandatory 48-hour hold in custody for Homeland Security to review. He said his office received a letter from the DOJ saying the city was breaking policy. Now Metro Corrections will be following that policy, and inmates will be entered into a national database that Homeland Security can see, something the mayor said we were already doing. Greenberg said the risk of not complying is too high.
We do not want to see highly coordinated and often violent federal enforcement action here, especially in workplaces, residential areas, schools, places of worship, parks, and other areas where law-abiding people gather. We do not want the National Guard occupying the streets of Louisville. I will not risk the safety of our broader immigrant community.
Greenberg went on to say, out of the tens of thousands of immigrants that call Louisville home, under 100 people each year are charged with crimes and affected by these detainers. Our other top story today, a federal judge has sentenced Brett Hankerson, the former LMPD detective convicted of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights, to 33 months in prison. It came as a surprise to some following the Department of Justice's recommendation of no prison time for Hankerson. WHAS11's Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton were outside the courthouse on Monday and heard reactions from protesters, along with civil rights leaders and Breonna's relatives.
Say her name!
Breonna Taylor! Family and friends of Breonna Taylor out in numbers once again, shouting her name. Breonna Taylor! Just moments after a federal judge handed down a 2-year, 9-month prison sentence to former LMPD detective Brett Hankerson, convicted 8 months ago of violating Taylor's civil rights in 2020.
You know, I'm grateful for the judge for giving some time, because we could have walked away with nothing according to what they recommended.
Breonna's mother, Tamika Palmer, was at times furious in the courtroom as new DOJ attorneys on this case, now under the Trump administration, sided with the defense in recommending no prison time.
I've never seen such a thing. I've never even heard of such a thing. It was disrespectful. It was heartbreaking. It shouldn't have happened. And like I said, he didn't know who I was.
But federal judge Rebecca Grady Jennings, a Trump appointee, went against prosecutors' wishes of 3-year supervised release.
She was in a horrible situation. I personally feel like she kind of rode the fence, so she kind of pleased one side but not totally turned the other side off. And then ultimately it's going to be in the hands of the appellate court or Trump to pardon, and it kind of takes her out of the frying pan.
Retired LMPD Sergeant John Mattingly, who was shot in the leg during the overnight raid on Taylor's home, was in court asking the judge to take mercy on Hankerson, and later he walked him to his car after the hearing finished. In the courtroom, Hankerson apologized to Taylor's family, saying if he knew then what he knows now, he would have never fired his gun.
He's in weirdly good spirits. His first thing was like, I'm just glad that my head's not on a jail cell pillow tonight. You know, at least I get to go home, regroup, let this thing sink in and absorb. Then their attorneys can come up with a new game plan.
Breonna Taylor's family attorney, Lenita Baker, standing alongside famous civil rights attorney Ben Crump, saying the sentence isn't everything they wanted, but they'll take it.
We commend the judge for taking the time to listen, to push back, and to express her disappointment within the Department of Justice, because she did do that.
Hankerson remains free from federal custody for now, as his attorneys plan to appeal. When I asked Crump if there's concern over a future Trump pardon or reducing of Hankerson's sentence, he told me this.
Right now in America, we're at the crossroads. Are we going to continue to be a democracy?
Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
Moving on, as a reminder, Hankerson was not the only LMPD officer involved. John Mattingly, who you just heard from, and Miles Cosgrove are the other 2 officers who shot their gun during that raid. Mattingly is now retired and has written a book about the incident. Cosgrove, who shot and killed Breonna Taylor, was fired from LMPD. He's now a sheriff's deputy in Carroll County. Joshua Janes and Kyle Meany have also been charged, accused of depriving Taylor of her rights. Janes also faces additional charges. Meanwhile, Kelly Goodlett was involved in writing the warrant that led officers to Taylor's home, pleading guilty to federal conspiracy back in 2022. Well, 2 former Manual High School football coaches have pleaded not guilty to charges of child sexual abuse. Donnie Stoner and his assistant coach and twin brother Ronnie Stoner were indicted on more than 50 counts of child sex abuse charges last week. The Stoners were removed from their coaching roles in 2023 after Donnie Stoner was accused of sexually assaulting a 17-year-old girl. A third man, Zach Kilgore, was named in that case but did not appear in court. A bond hearing is scheduled for July 29th. The grieving family of a shooting victim in Louisville has started a GoFundMe to help pay for funeral expenses. Earlier this month, 26-year-old Sonita Simmons was killed in a double homicide. Police say it was a targeted attack. On the GoFundMe page, Sonita's family says she had an active life insurance policy. However, due to the nature of the ongoing investigation into her death, her life insurance cannot be released until the case is fully resolved. If you would like to donate, you can find the link to the GoFundMe by going to our website, WHAS11.com, and heading to the links listed page. Louisville Metro Police were on site at a federal building in downtown this morning following reports of a suspicious package. Police said the call came in at 8:40. A WHAS11 news crew was on scene watching officers clear the area around 10 o'clock. LMPD gave the all clear, saying they confirmed no hazardous devices were detected. Well, let's get you some weather now with Matthew Willoughby. Matthew, good to see you once again. You know,
Yes.
When I walked out of my apartment at about 2:45 this morning, it felt so good outside. No
Yes.
humidity. I felt no humidity.
Oh yeah, nice and refreshing outside. We're finally starting to see that, at least for this Tuesday. So we won't have to worry about the rain showers or the clouds. Just some nice, at least less humid conditions for the start of this afternoon for your Tuesday. Got some nice, beautiful blue skies and a little bit of clouds out there for the start of your Tuesday afternoon. Overall, looking at current temperatures across the area, lower 80s in Louisville, 84 in Shepherdsville, Elizabethtown at 80 degrees. Some spots still into the mid 60s just around 12 o'clock. Those feel like temperatures are starting to warm up though. Starting to see those into the mid 80s for some spots. So we'll start to warm up a little bit. And as you look at those current dew points, not bad. Some areas still further south having dew points into the 70s, but some areas like Louisville, even up into LaGrange, seeing not too bad dew points, upper 60s for this afternoon. As you look at that hourly planner, we'll warm up into the upper 80s today. So still going to be a warm one out there for you, but we'll see plenty of sunshine as we head towards the evening hour. It's going to be a great night to at least have some dinner outside for tonight. Back into tonight, though, lower 80s, 78 degrees as we head towards the middle part of midnight. Look at your tomorrow forecast. This is going to be a great day to get out on the pool. A nice summer-filled day, but temperatures are going to warm up into the mid-90s by the afternoon. But overall, amazing day to get out and enjoy some pool time. What's ahead, though, we have some nice, hot, dry streaks ahead for us as we head towards the next couple of days. But I'll be telling you how hot it'll get coming up in just a few minutes. Back over to you, Gabriel.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Matthew. The Center for Women and Families, a domestic violence coalition in downtown Louisville, says it's concerned about impending budget cuts in President Trump's budget for the 2026 fiscal year. It proposes sweeping reductions and eliminations to a wide range of federal programs, including cuts to programs under the Office on Violence Against Women. It's concerning for Louisville-based domestic violence programs, which say they rely on the funds. In recent years, the Kentucky legislature has given Zero V, which supports domestic violence shelters, including the Center for Women and Families, more than $7 million to supplement lost funds. But now the money for programs and resources is becoming less certain.
We have to be able to have the financial resources to pay people what they need to be paid for cost of living. How do we continue to do our work and be able to reach the survivors that we need to be able to reach with few resources?
The Center for Women and Families says budget cuts have not hit quite yet because of ongoing court decisions.